What if I told you your greatest breakthrough doesn't need a grand moment? What if everything you dream of hinges not on a leap, but a step? Let me ask you something. How many times have you set a big goal only to lose steam a few days in? You're not lazy. You're not incapable. You've just been taught to chase massive change when the truth is, success is hidden in the smallest things you do daily. This speech is not for those waiting for a miracle moment. It's for the ones ready to take control, one small change at a time. Stay with me until the end, and I'll show you how tiny shifts in your daily routine can lead you to unimaginable achievements. The kind that transform your entire life. Let's face it, we live in a world addicted to intensity. We glorify the all-nighters, celebrate the hustle marathons, and admire the moments when someone goes all in for their goals. But here's the truth that the noise around you won't tell you. Intensity might impress people, but it's consistency that transforms lives. Anyone can run hard for a day. Anyone can grind for a week when they feel inspired. But the ones who reach real, lasting success, they do the small, often boring, unimpressive things every single day. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to wait for the perfect day, the perfect mood, the perfect plan. You need to build the strength to show up on the days when motivation has disappeared, when nobody's watching, and when your energy is low. Because that's when growth happens. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of routine. Think about it. A single intense workout won't change your body. A weekend crash diet won't reset your health. Writing one brilliant page won't make you an author. But if you show up consistently, if you walk 20 minutes a day, if you write 200 words daily, if you put away just $10.00 every time you earn, you are setting forces in motion that intensity alone could never spark. Consistency compounds. What you do daily becomes what you believe, and what you believe is what you become. You see, intensity feeds off emotion. You feel excited, so you act. But consistency, it's a choice. It's a discipline. It doesn't care how you feel. It only asks, will you show up again today? And here's the hard truth. Most people don't fail because of lack of talent. They fail because they can't stay committed without applause. They can't stay consistent when results take time. And that's the secret most people never hear. It's not your skill level that decides your future. It's your ability to stay consistent when progress feels invisible. It's easy to give your all once, but can you give your minimum every day? There's a story behind every legend that no one tells. The early mornings that didn't make it to social media. The lonely nights when quitting seemed easier than continuing. The hours of repetition that felt useless until one day they weren't. The runner who wins the race isn't always the fastest. It's often the one who trained when no one was keeping score. The artist who breaks through isn't always the most talented. It's the one who kept creating even when nobody paid attention. Consistency isn't sexy. It's not flashy. It won't get a standing ovation, but it gets results. Your job isn't to be perfect every day. Your job is to keep showing up. To keep the promise you made to your future self, to plant the seed today, water it tomorrow, and trust the process even when there's no fruit yet. Because what you repeat becomes what you remember, and what you remember becomes how you live. You don't climb a mountain with a leap. You do it with thousands of small steps. And the only thing that gets you from base to peak is showing up, one faithful step at a time. So stop waiting for a lightning bolt of motivation to strike. Stop trying to build your life on emotional highs. Instead, build your life on commitment, on a daily decision that says, I may not feel like it, but I'm not going to let today pass without doing what I promised. Because if you stay consistent, one day people will look at your life and call it extraordinary. And you'll know, deep inside, it wasn't because of one big moment. It was because of 1,000 small ones you never skipped. That's the power of consistency over intensity. And that's how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. Your future isn't written in the stars. It's not locked inside some mysterious plan or dependent on luck. Your future is hidden in the smallest things you do every single day. If you want to know where your life is headed, don't look at your dreams, look at your habits. Because your habits are not just what you do. They are shaping who you are becoming. You can say you want to be healthy, but if your daily routine is fast food, late nights, and no movement, your habit is writing a future that contradicts your desire. You can say you want to be wealthy, but if your habit is to spend before you save, scroll before you study, consume before you create, then your future is being quietly designed by the patterns you repeat, not the intentions you have. Your habits are the script your life is following, the silent architect building your outcomes behind the scenes. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Every time you wake up and choose discipline over comfort, action over delay, purpose over distraction, you're voting for the future you want to see. Not in theory, not in your imagination, but in reality, in a tangible, measurable, inevitable way. And here's what makes habits so powerful. They don't ask for permission. They don't wait for your mood. Once built, they run on autopilot. That's why the most dangerous habit is the one you don't even realize you have. And the most powerful habit is the one you repeat until it becomes part of your identity. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. But you are exactly what you do repeatedly. If you read every day, you're becoming a reader. If you write every day, you're becoming a writer. If you lead every day, you're becoming a leader. And if you waste every day, you're becoming someone who never becomes anything at all. Think of your habits like seeds. You plant them in the soil of today, and they grow into the tree of tomorrow. You don't always see the results immediately, but the roots are forming, the momentum is building, and one day the results will show up loud, undeniable, and unstoppable. That's why you can't wait for the perfect time to start. There's no magic moment when it will feel easy. You start now with one small change. You start by proving to yourself that you can keep a promise. You build the habit, not because it's convenient, but because it's necessary. If your life feels out of control, don't try to change everything overnight. Just change one habit. Because one habit becomes two, two become four, and before you know it, your daily rhythm is carrying you towards success, without needing to fight for it every single day. Every habit is a vote for the kind of future you want to live in. So ask yourself, what am I voting for today? You don't get the future you wish for. You get the future you walk toward, one repeated action at a time. And when your habits align with your vision, you become unstoppable. Not overnight, but over time, quietly, powerfully, permanently. So if you want to change your life, don't chase the outcome, build the habit. The habit will shape the outcome. Because in the end, destiny doesn't arrive by accident. Destiny is built. And habits are the bricks. The world celebrates what it sees, the trophies, the titles, the transformation. People applaud the visible. But what truly builds a life of greatness isn't seen, it's invisible. It's quiet. It happens behind closed doors. in moments that don't get likes, shares, or applause. The real work? It happens when no one is watching. Everyone wants to shine. Everyone wants the results. But very few are willing to embrace the unseen grind that produces real success. You cannot grow if you only perform when people are watching. You cannot become extraordinary if your actions are dependent on recognition. The most powerful moments of your journey will be invisible to the world. The times you stayed up late to study, the mornings you got out of bed before the sun, the days you showed up tired, hurt, unmotivated, but still refused to quit. Those moments won't make the highlight real, but they are the foundation of every highlight. It's what you do in the dark that prepares you to shine in the light. The invisible hours matter more than the visible ones, because that's when discipline is born. That's when character is tested. That's when real habits are formed, not out of hype, but out of hunger. You don't become great on the stage. You become great in the silence. You become great when you choose integrity over shortcuts, when you choose focus over distraction, when you do the right thing even when it feels like it's not making a difference. But here's the problem. We live in a world addicted to fast validation. Everyone wants quick results, instant change, overnight success. So when your hard work goes unseen, it's tempting to believe it's not working. But listen closely. Just because no one sees it doesn't mean it's not growing. Just because no one is clapping doesn't mean you're not winning. Progress doesn't always come with a fanfare. Sometimes it comes as quiet strength, silent growth, invisible transformation. A seed grows underground before it breaks through the surface. It takes root in darkness, in silence. It pushes, stretches, and prepares before the world ever notices it. That's how your success grows. Beneath the surface of routine, under the weight of daily effort. You can't microwave greatness. You must build it slowly, patiently, and deliberately when no one else is looking. If you're doing the work and it feels like nothing's changing, don't quit. If you're showing up daily and seeing no applause, don't stop. The invisible work always pays off, just not always when you expect it. Eventually, the world will see what you've been doing in secret, but by then it won't even matter to you, because you'll know the work wasn't for their approval, it was for your purpose. So today, commit to the invisible. Show up even when it's quiet. Stay focused even when it's lonely. Build in silence. And let your results make the noise. Because one day, the visible will come, and people will call it talent, they'll call it luck, they'll say you were gifted, but you'll know the truth. It wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was the invisible hours, the quiet decisions, the unseen grind, and that's what made you unstoppable. We often wait for big victories to feel like we're moving forward. We think success begins with a breakthrough moment, a job offer, a huge sale, a public recognition, a viral post. But real momentum doesn't begin with a bang. It begins with a whisper that says, I did something today. It begins with small wins, the kind of win that might look meaningless to the world, but meaningful to your mindset. Waking up without snoozing the alarm. Finishing that one task you kept avoiding, choosing water over soda, reading 2 pages of a book, saying no to one temptation. These are small, these are simple, but they are not insignificant. Because small wins are the fuel of big victories. Every time you complete a small task that moves you forward, you're telling yourself a powerful story. I can do this. I'm making progress. I'm becoming the person I said I'd be. And that belief, that quiet confidence, that is the beginning of unstoppable momentum. The truth is, confidence doesn't come from achieving the massive goal. It comes from proving to yourself that you're capable of showing up again. When you stack one win on top of another, something shifts. You start to feel less like a dreamer and more like a doer. You stop seeing goals as far-off fantasies and start treating them like inevitable destinations. Momentum isn't about speed, it's about direction. It's the force that builds when you make one good decision, then another and another. And suddenly, what felt impossible yesterday starts to feel normal today. But the problem is we often overlook these small wins. We think they're too minor to matter. We tell ourselves, it's just a short workout, or it's only a few dollars saved, or I only wrote one paragraph. But what you forget is that small wins multiply. They compound. They send a message to your brain. We're doing it, we're in motion. And once you're in motion, everything gets easier. Not because the challenge disappears, but because you start believing that you're the kind of person who can handle it. This is how powerful habits are formed. Not through perfection, but through consistency. Not through massive success, but through momentum. If you try to do it all at once, you'll feel overwhelmed. If you focus on just one small win each day, you'll feel empowered. You don't need to conquer the mountain today. Just take the next step. Then take another one tomorrow. And suddenly, climbing feels natural. And from there, unstoppable. One win leads to belief. Belief leads to action. And action leads to more wins. It's a cycle that feeds itself. And you are the one who starts it. You see, success doesn't just belong to the most talented or the most connected. It belongs to those who are willing to stack their days with small, intentional victories. Quiet wins that no one may notice, but that you will feel deep in your soul. So the next time you make your bed, check off a to-do, resist a bad habit, or show up when you didn't feel like it. Don't downplay it. That's a win. That's you building momentum. That's you becoming stronger, more focused, more capable. Don't underestimate what those small wins are doing inside you. They are rewiring your mind, rebuilding your identity, and realigning your future. One small win today, one more tomorrow. That's how greatness begins. That's how momentum is born. And once you have momentum, it's only a matter of time before the world sees what's been building all along. Discipline is not punishment. It's not about restriction. Discipline is freedom. It is the quiet force that takes your scattered energy and focuses it. It is the trainer of your mind, the teacher of your emotions, the guardian of your destiny. And it is built not once, not occasionally, but daily. What you do every day is not just shaping your results, it's shaping your thinking. Every time you push through resistance, you are not just getting things done, you are training your mind to obey purpose instead of feeling. You are conditioning your brain to choose commitment over comfort. You are building a mindset that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't need permission to act, and that refuses to be controlled by impulse. Most people want success, but they also want ease, and you cannot have both. Your mind will obey whatever you train it to believe. If you always give in to excuses, your mind learns to retreat. If you delay your commitments, your mind learns to negotiate. If you let your emotions lead, your mind becomes fragile. But if you show up when it's hard, if you work when it's boring, if you do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel, your mind becomes unstoppable. That's the power of daily discipline. It doesn't shout. It doesn't show off. It simply says, we do this. Every day, no matter what. Discipline doesn't rely on motivation, because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unpredictable. Discipline is a decision, and decisions can be repeated. They can be strengthened. They can be sharpened over time until they become automatic. When you choose discipline, you are setting boundaries around your energy. You are telling your time where to go, your attention what to focus on, and your body what to follow. And when done daily, it doesn't just shape your habits, it transforms your mindset. A disciplined mind doesn't panic under pressure, it performs. A disciplined mind doesn't seek shortcuts, it embraces structure. A disciplined mind doesn't wait for perfect conditions, it creates them. And here's the truth. Greatness isn't a result of spontaneous inspiration. It's a result of trained repetition. Show me someone who wins consistently, and I'll show you someone whose daily discipline has trained their mind to endure discomfort, to ignore distractions, and to keep moving forward, even when progress is invisible. You must stop treating discipline like a chore. It's not your enemy, it's your greatest ally. Every day you keep your word to yourself, you gain strength. Every day you resist the urge to quit, you gain clarity. Every day you push through doubt, you gain mental muscle. You are building resilience, one repetition at a time. And there will be days you don't feel like it. Days when your mind screams for comfort, for distraction, for rest. But those are the days that matter most. Because on those days, discipline becomes the voice that says, I don't need to feel like it to do it. Daily discipline is your training ground. It's the inner gym where your mindset is molded, your focus is forged, and your future is formed. The person you are becoming doesn't rise from dreams. It rises from daily decisions. And the most powerful decision you can make is to discipline your mind before the world tries to shape it for you. So decide today, train your mind through action, not feeling. Let discipline drive you, not mood, not motivation, not momentary hype. Because once your mind is trained, your life will follow. And nothing will be able to stop you, not fatigue, not failure, not fear. Because you'll know, I trained for this every single day. We often look for change in the dramatic. We want to feel it, see it, prove it. We want the big leap, the breakthrough, the transformation we can show off. But real progress, it rarely announces itself. It hides in something most people ignore. Repetition. Repetition is not exciting, it's not glamorous, but it's where growth lives. When you do the same thing over and over again, it doesn't feel like progress, it feels like routine. It feels ordinary. That's why most people stop. They mistake consistency for stagnation. They say, nothing's changing, why keep going? But what they don't realize is that every repetition is working. Silently, invisibly, powerfully. You don't get stronger the first time you lift a weight. You get stronger by lifting it again, and again, and again. You don't become a master after one attempt. Mastery is the child of repetition. It is born through doing something so many times that it becomes a part of who you are. Progress hides behind repetition, because repetition is where skill is refined, where habits are carved, where character is built. One repetition might not change your life, but 1,000 will. The problem is most people don't stick around long enough to see the 1,000. They quit in the middle, right when it's starting to work. Repetition tests you. It asks, will you keep going when no one claps? Will you keep going when it feels like nothing's happening? And those who say yes Those who keep showing up, keep pushing, keep practicing, they are the ones who wake up one day with momentum, with growth, with strength they didn't even realize was building. It's like water dripping on stone. One drop changes nothing. 100 drops leave no mark. But over time, that steady drip carves through rock. That's what your repetition is doing. Slowly carving a new version of you. One habit, one action, one drop at a time. The world may not notice your effort yet. That's okay. The world doesn't decide your future. Your discipline does. Your repetitions do. And every time you repeat a small, purposeful action, you are writing your future with your hands, your choices, and your time. Don't be fooled by how boring it feels. Don't wait to feel inspired. Real progress often feels like nothing until it becomes everything. That early morning routine that feels unproductive now, it's strengthening your will. That daily workout that looks the same, it's transforming your body 1 inch at a time. That small act of courage you repeat every day, it's changing how you see yourself, how you carry yourself, how others respond to you. Progress doesn't knock on the door and say, "Here I am." It sneaks in quietly while you're doing the work. It grows beneath the surface, like roots in the soil. You won't see it right away, but when it finally breaks through, it will look like a miracle to everyone else, but not to you, because you'll know. You earned it in the repetition. So don't chase the extraordinary, master the ordinary, repeat the things that matter until they become second nature. Keep doing the right things long enough, and you'll become the kind of person who gets the right results naturally. You don't need more talent. You don't need more luck. You need more consistency in the small things. Because in the end, it's not the one-time acts that change your life. It's the repeated ones. That's where progress hides. And that's where greatness begins.